Magnification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to a More Than Meets the Eye, something like that. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today, we'll be looking at, well, something new. A friend of mine wanted me to talk about some basic stuff, some stuff about being blind in the real world, and, how do you do normal everyday activities? Well, those of you who can see I got a coffee maker here and a can of coffee. And I was going to talk to you about what I use for my coffee preparations as a blind person, because I was thinking, well, what's a basic everyday task that I do that I never think about? I make coffee. I make coffee every day. I make coffee maybe twice a day sometimes. I make coffee a lot. I'm addicted to coffee, and I'm okay with that. So I got a percolator. Now, I'm going to tell you why I got a percolator as a blind person. And this is why I decided to make the video. Because a lot of people get the drip style coffee makers. And the drips are nice. Don't let me, I won't deny that. They work pretty well. They're quick little buggers. But they don't have as great of a flavor. I'll come out and say that when I stand by it. They don't have as great of a flavor. The percolator's got a better flavor. Also, the percolator here, unlike the drip, the percolator has this thing in it called a basket. I don't want to get too much liquids in case there are any, so set on top of the coffee. Like this right here. This is the basket. Now, I'm not really going to get it too far out, but this basket here is where you put all of your coffee grounds. You can just kind of dump them in, and then you close the lid on it, and you come over here, and you got a little, inside here, we got a little tube. It's a big straw that has a spring on it. Pull it out a bit. And take a look at it. Okay. See, this is the straw tube. It's also wet. I got a cloth on the table. I'm trying not to get it too bad, but yeah, it's just a big long straw, longer than normal straws, and it's got a spring on it, and it's got a big wide bottom. And now what this thing does is inside of the container here, there's this bolt sticking up thing. It's a hexagon feeling thing. In the center, it's got a circle, and this is going to go in the center of that. And what this does is there's a little crevice underneath that circle. It goes down a bit, like that deep. And in that area is where water is going to get superheated, like incredibly hot water. And it's going to cause the pressure to increase in here. And as the water gets hotter, you build up steam. And as the steam comes up, this is going to push against, where did I put the lid? Oh, here it is. So the lid here, the entire basket is going to push against the lid, and that's going to cause more pressure to build up until finally there's a release of pressure as the steam from down below will come through this straw. And when it comes through this straw, it's going to push the basket down. And when it pushes the basket down, it's going to push all the water that gets trapped up here above the basket through the basket, through your coffee, and below into the water to make some nice coffee. And it's going to constantly recycle this water until it's done with its cycle. So you're going to get usually stronger coffee than you would with a drip, and you're going to get a more robust flavor. Now, why do I use a percolator? Well, one, it's easy, it's simple. Here's this little cord. It's one machine. It's not a couple of things. And number two, the major thing, the insanely big thing, the large thing, capitalized letters, 20 feet tall, on fire. So that you could see them from an airplane. It's not made of glass. It's not made of glass at all. There's no glass here. So I don't have to worry about shattering my coffee pot. I don't have to worry about dropping it. I don't have to worry about these things. I don't have to. I have this thing about glass, being blind. Me and glass, we don't get along. I treat glass exactly like I treat fire, which is at an arm's distance and ensuring that it's not going to go crazy. I control glass like I control fire as a blind person, because that is one of those things shatters, that wouldn't be good. And Well, that's just one of my small fears, is my coffee pot shattering in the morning and then me walking on broken glass. That just wasn't, that's not in the cards for Blind Prime. Blind Prime doesn't want to do that. Blind Prime doesn't want to ever have any option to do that. So I got a percolator. And I suggest to you, anybody out there, to get percolators as well. They're easier and they're more manageable. Yeah, it takes a bit longer to make the coffee, but you start the coffee before you take your morning shower, and there you go, you're done. You can also plug it into an Alexa plug, and then you get your Alexa. You could tell it to turn that plug on at specific times in the morning, and then it will make the coffee while you sleep. That's pretty cool. It's a nice little system. It's steampunk, mainly because it uses steam power to get the job done, which I appreciate. I like steam power stuff. You put the lid on it, you make that nice clunk noise, and it's nice and solid. This thing can handle a lot of pressure, and it does. And it sits there and thumps around on the kitchen counter until it's done. And now let's talk about the coffee. So you want to get yourself the right type of coffee and to fill this thing. So I'll teach you the coffee filling process. I got my coffee right here. Let's see. So I went ahead years ago and I put this scoop I found in there. It's a metal scoop. I don't even know if it's the right size scoop or anything like that, but I found this scoop and it's a nice scoop. I found this scoop years ago, though. I haven't lost this scoop. The scoop stays in my coffee. There was a time back in the 90s, whenever you bought coffee, things like this, they came with a scoop. Believe it or not, they came with a scoop. So I'm just going to fill up my coffee, and it's early in the morning. I just woke up a few minutes ago, so this coffee's mine. I need it. I need it. Now, I like chock full of nuts coffee. I don't know about any of you guys. My second choice is Maxwell House. That's mainly because the Maxwell House factory is in Florida, and I live in Florida, and I like to, I don't know, I know not much of the money that I pay on my Maxwell House coffee is actually going to go back to the factory and help those employees, but I knew some of it will. And that's the point. No, the employees are nearby. I may know even a few of them, just from living in the state for so long. So here's that. And number 4. There we go. Good old 4 scoops of coffee. Gotta have 4. Anything less is too weak. I don't even know what type of measuring system this is. So that's another one of the fun things about being blind. Sometimes you find something that measures everything perfect for you, and you have no idea what in the world it is. What its actual measurements are. There we go. Put that back on there. Slam you down. Okay. Well, guys, I'm gonna go plug this coffee pot in and make myself some morning coffee. Well, first I'm gonna fill it with water, and the filling of the water system is pretty easy. There's little cutouts in it that you can feel with your finger that tell you how deep the water's getting, and it's really nice like that, highly textured. And that's another reason why I recommend this for any blind person. And I recommend this for anybody out there. It's less trash, less fragility, and you got something sturdy. The biggest negative to it, well, 2, is 1, it takes a bit longer than a drip. And number 2, all the electronics are on the bottom, and I can't find one where you remove these electronics. I found some that are percolators that you put on stovetops, but not percolators that have their own hot plates that you can actually twist the percolator off of. And that's my big negative on this guy. On this particular model, I wish that all these electronics could be removed that are on its bottom so that I could put this guy in the dishwasher or something. But, while the electronics are on the bottom, it's not dishwasher safe. You can only hand wash this, and you have to make sure that when you're washing it, your sink isn't filled with water. Not even a little bit, because there's not much of a distance between that and the plug-in area. I wish the plug-in area was higher up on the coffee pot, or if they had pushed it out a bit and made it vertical so that it would be harder for water to get in there or something. But this is, that's my big negative on this thing, is the power supply and where it's located. And my last percolator died because I accidentally put it in water. I was washing it in the sink, and I lowered it into the sink, and somebody put a big wide bowl in the sink without me realizing. And so I just lowered it right into the bowl, and I was like, crap. And I did it a few times because I just took it apart and cleaned it up. But after a while, the innards fell apart, and it just fell apart. But I'll let you guys go. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and on how a blind man makes coffee. I consider it a pretty easy process, but some people may not realize. But thank you for watching, and I'm gonna go get some coffee now. Bye bye.